Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. Joseph James here, schooltrade.com, sidewaysmarkets.com, October 8, 2010. Happy Friday to you guys. We made over 10,000 bucks in the room this week, guys. 10,000 USD in the room this week. Only 4 contracts traded. Before we talk about the trades we took today, another big winning day in the room. I told you guys, this is the time to be trading. The fall is the best time to be a trader right now. Before we talk about those trades, though, I want to remind you about our blog. Our blog, if you're watching the video in the blog right now, guys, don't forget, follow the blog. Click on that follow button, lower right-hand corner. We have live support there. Someone's always standing by to help you guys out with support questions, with sales questions. You want to become a member, or maybe you are a member, right? You want to know where you can find more information about certain things. And then don't forget, you can search box, right? Use that search box, and you got Trade Room Resources up top. Click on that link, Trade Room Resources, guys. It's right at the top here, guys, right at the top of the blog. Click on that link at Trade Room Resources. That's going to open up all the articles, all the videos, the tips and tricks we go over in the room. Great place for you guys to get started. And don't forget, right, the webinars, tutorials, and live webinars, also up here, guys, the top of the page. This is also going to give you guys lots of videos, webinars, different topics, guys. There's so much action there on this blog, guys. Get to know the blog, use it as you need it, and don't forget all the good stuff, right, all the specifics are going to be inside of our advanced course. Let's take a look here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 total trades. 262 ticks today, guys. 2620. Had 3 losses in here, you can see. Loss on crude, scratch on gold. Had a full stop on crude today at 1030. That was on a 13 range and a 4 range. We'll talk more about that with you guys in a second. We don't usually take full stops, of course. Don't usually take full stops, but you can see here doing this morning. That's all right, though. 262 ticks, guys. Big day. That brings our total for the week over 10,000 bucks, 10,900, almost 11,000 bucks for the week, guys. Monthly total 11.9, and of course yearly total 161,000, just shy of 162,000, guys. So 262 ticks today, guys. We're now over $11,000 a month, over 10,000 bucks just this week alone, guys. Like I said, the fall is the best time to be a trader right now, especially as a member of School Trade. Let's see here. What's the most important that happened today? Well, Fridays are hit or miss, right? Sometimes Fridays are really good. Sometimes Fridays are really slow. We know for one thing, though, Fridays are always going to end a little bit early, because the same reason why you and I want to get out from behind our desks on a Friday afternoon is the same reason why the market slows down at the end of the morning on a Friday too. We had 8:30 employment number this morning. That was the major market mover. But all we got really was some really strong price action from 8:30 to 9:30. At 9:30, it was almost like a different market showed up. It was a different personality. We saw big ranges, right? Rising ATR into 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30, and all of a sudden 9:30 comes along. The ranges start to get narrower. Speed slows down. Got a little bit sloppy on the price action. Kind of an odd situation there, right? Usually we don't see this thing get sloppy until about 10:30, 11 o'clock. This morning, literally, once the U.S. market opened up, we had a completely different personality of the market. Went sideways, and it became a lot more difficult to trade with. Right now, most of you guys this morning, though, grabbed the first couple of trades we took in the room this morning. We grabbed about 70 ticks here in the first hour of the day. So we were off to a really good start. A lot of you guys hit your daily goals early in the morning, and you never had to even worry about trading after 9:30. So if you're with us after 9:30 today trading, a little more challenging. But most of us, though, we made that money well before 9:30 came around. Let's take a look at how we did today. Now we're going to start first with my dollar. My dollar is always where I start first. And there were 3 things we saw in the dollar this morning, right? What were those 3 things we saw in the dollar? The first thing was, okay, we had a nice wide trading range, right? There's my wide trading range. Now remember, too, we're going to compare the range today to the range yesterday. So the first thing we saw was, it was a very wide trading range, right? Nice wide range there. Second thing we noticed, outside day. Right, we did actually break above the highs that we saw from yesterday. So we had an outside day. But the third thing we saw, which was the most, I would say most exciting this morning, was all of this downside potential. Right, we had all of this potential to the short side. So you can see here, we have all this open space down bottom here, which if you're familiar with the term gap or a gap fill, okay, we'd expect price in the dollar to come down, right, test these lows, and then come right back up. Well, never ended up actually doing that. What ended up happening was it actually ended up coming all the way up here, right, and trading sideways up here. But what we saw this morning when we opened up our charts was we had all this downside potential in the dollar, which told us this dollar has a lot of room to run, got a lot of space to fill. All right, guys, like I said, though, didn't end up doing that, but those were the 3 things we saw this morning that gave us a little bit of a heads up on what to expect the rest of the morning here. right? Wide trading range, that told us everything else is moving right now. Outside day means the dollar has a mind of its own right now. Something's changed, so it's moving out there, which is going to bring the rest of these markets moving as well with us. And of course, all the potential to the downside, that meant this dollar has plenty of room to move, and room to move means the rest of the markets will move. Okay, so those are three things we saw. That's exactly why we're excited about today's trading. We also know, of course, it's the fall, so we get all these big swings. Now, here's my crude oil. We started off on crude this morning, so let's get our crude market done. Now, as you can see here, we defined our sideways range on crude. Right, there's my sideways range. And what you'll notice is we started all the way up top here yesterday, and we come all the way down, and now here we are trading sideways. Now, guys, remember, the past month or so, we've been dealing with crude at the highs. And so when you're at the highs, we're always biased to the short side at the highs. If we don't see any sellers, of course, and we see some excessive buyers, we'll buy the breakout. But we're most, at the highs. Gold was at the highs, crude was at the highs, right? Equities at the highs. So with everything at the highs, we're biased to the short side. Well, that's not the case anymore here on crude. Now we've pulled off those highs, and now we're going sideways. And guys, it doesn't matter what market you're trading, sideways markets, guys, that's our specialty. Right? Our specialty is sideways markets because we understand how to buy support and sell resistance. Buy support, sell resistance. So you'll see here we have a couple key levels here, guys. The first one being, we open up our charts, was 81.50. Right? That was the first key level of resistance that was overhead. All right? So what we wanted to do was we wanted to sell that resistance. If we broke above 82, we're going to buy the breakout. All right, now we can see what happened though is we actually had crude that came down, right, tested this trend line, and then launched. All right, so what happened is we bought the support, right, just above 81s. We're going to sell resistance, and we'll buy the breakout. All right, guys. Now remember, the key here is this is a sideways market, right? It's come off those highs, and now we're trading sideways. The key to a sideways market: define your sideways market, buy the lows, sell the highs, and don't forget, guys, I have a handy indicator. The indicator is called the Auto Levels Indicator. That comes with membership, and that indicator is going to define for you all these levels, right? You got to know where to trade with the levels, right? If you don't have the levels, how do you know where to trade? Okay, the Auto Levels Indicator does it all for me. All right, so crude came down, tested support, 81s, and then launched back to the upside here. We sold the resistance, and we bought the breakout here on crude. Let's take a look here. Now here's what we started off with here, up around those 81s. Right, here's the 81s for us here. Right, there's your 81s up top.